PowerPoints, power lunches, conference calls, reply to all, endless meetings, constant check-ins, and so much wasted time. Are you sick of the BS? So are we. It's time to take our time back, rework the way we work, and make every call a call to action. This is a podcast for people who want to stop talking and really start connecting. This is After 12. I suppose anyone can pose as an expert if he's far enough from home. These words from In Search of Light by the broadcast of Edward R. Murrow reflect on our current guest today on After 12. Hi, my name is Adam Voss, the host of 12 for 12, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Josh Rush.
Hello, hello.
And with us today is the founder and head of One Week website, Mr. Danny Peavey.
Hello.
Danny, thank you so much for being with us, and it's very telling that a man that died years ago knew you well. No, I'm just kidding. For all those out there, Danny is a marketing expert, and he works with us at Echelon, the production company that runs 12 for 12, a lot to help us tell our stories, because oftentimes they're convoluted by an influx of beverages like alcohol. And, we don't know what we don't know until we get help. So even marketing companies like ours, storytellers and experienced designers, need a man like you. It's obviously not wearing pants.
Sorry about that. With beautiful hair and a brand new shirt.
Brand new.
Glad you went shopping.
He rode a horse, a gilded stallion on the way here. So Danny, how did you get into marketing? And tell me a little bit about your transition, because I know you started in sales.
Yeah, so I spent about 12 years, I'm 38, 19 at 30-ish, 33-ish, and big corporate company IT sales. Did that for a while.
Sounds awful.
Like what kind of companies?
IBM, Apple, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise.
So
some small companies. They do a couple little things. But no, I did that for a while, and really found myself, quite frankly, unhappy. Not unhappy by way of real problems in the world, but just kind of had an underpinning of this
corporate
isn't
America
feeling good. Yeah. So one good story is high volume, kind of high pressure sales. You have to give your quarterly business review to your boss. Working at
that's what they call it, QBR.
QBR for the sales and marketing people watching. I was giving my QBR.
Adam, what's your QBR? I'm sorry,
Yes.
excuse me. Oh, well, we'll get to that.
We'll get back to that.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Your QBR.
I actually took a QBR in there.
But I'm in front of the room. I'm giving my QBR, and
Well, how big is the room and how many people are in it?
There's my main boss.
Now calling number
boss.
32, Danny Peavey.
Pretty
it's
much.
time for your PBR.
Seriously. QBR. Drink a PBR and your QBR. But no, I'm up there. You're giving your numbers. And I remember one time in particular, I had an account. Hey, and they can ask you questions about your account, how you're going to make your number, things like that. And the question was, hey, Danny, what's the market share for that account you're covering? I think it's about 35%.
Oh,
and this
yeah.
is 35. Well, no, is it you think it's 35%? Is it 36.3% or is it 37.5? And this is true, by the way.
And you're kind of a no bullshit guy.
Yeah, I'm kind of straight up. And I was
A little square,
like,
but yeah.
a little square. That's the flower shirt.
Decimal.
Roll up the sleeves on long. Yeah. But yeah, it threw me off. Corporate politics. I know a lot of marketers and probably salespeople that maybe bounce in between both practices kind of feel, the question is corporate America secure, or is starting your own business secure, in today's day and age, right?
Well, I would think that working for one of the Fortune, top 50. It was Apple's more than, Apple. We're talking, they're kind of big.
It's from the Garden of Eden.
Correct.
The Garden of Eden. So
in today's day and environment, I don't think of it,
most people, Danny, it's like, you were doing well. Like in your best years, you were making some serious bread. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And you say, like you told me before off camera, it's like, dude, I was killing it, and I just, wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
Corporate,
I think, people that work in corporate America can relate, but corporate games are real. Sometimes the job you think you were hired to do is really not what you're doing. You may be facilitating the role, But there's a lot of games. There's a lot of politics. People are just, it's like Game of Thrones. People are clawing at each other's throats, trying to get up to the next level.
You guys ever play Pinky Wars?
Was there rape and incest is there as well? That's awful, Danny.
Well,
did you have to bring people coffee?
I didn't have to do the coffee thing. I had to go get printouts from the printer, but no, I mean, I found myself kind of in that.
Danny, what's your QBR today?
Okay, so when your job is predicated on the numbers, on the mathematics of what you bring to the company, the value you add, that gets pretty redundant and exhausting, right?
If the company's not making their number, or if quotas aren't being hit, then there are reasons why. And so I found myself kind of coming up with ideas, putting them forward, and I really wanted to do work. I wanted to move the ball forward. I didn't want to spend 6 hours a day playing games or updating Salesforce to update all my market share numbers by 0.7% because some guy has a hard-on to have 2 decimal points for every piece of market share data in Salesforce. I mean, those are real things that you can get caught up in. And it's like, what am I doing with my life?
What have we been doing with our podcast?
So do you get aroused when you look at decimal points?
Well, now that I have my own company, a little bit.
Wait a minute. Okay. I just got a note from our producer that after 12 viewership is actually down a few points, but that's okay. We're going to...
But you liked the sales component.
I like sales. Yeah. I mean, I really like to do work. Like I wanted to execute.
But what led you from 6-figure income in Palo Alto or Sunnyvale, and then moving to back to Atlanta and starting your own small marketing shop?
The short version is again 12 years in IT. Left Atlanta after working for IBM. Moved to California, worked for Apple. Had the experience we were just talking about. My brothers had a heating and air company here in Atlanta. There was kind of something happening to where they needed me to come help run the company. Moved back to Atlanta 2014, put in my resignation at Apple. And I was there for a year. They asked me to help run sales and marketing. 7 years old at the time.
You were 7?
You were 7. Prodigy. You're a little smart.
What's the name of the business
That's why he's
again?
wearing a diaper.
What's the name of your brother's business?
What?
What's the name of
Peavey Heating and Air.
This podcast is brought to you by Peavey Heating and Air for all your heating and cooling
Not
needs.
to be confused with Peavey guitars.
That's correct. I'm actually searching for that long lost cousin at Peavey guitar.
Yeah. So how big is Peavey Heating and Air?
I mean, Peavey at the time. I mean, now they have 30 employees, and at the time they probably had 10.
All right. So Peavey Heating and Air.
Yeah. So
to 1 week website.
Yeah. So I was I had been in the corporate world and just kind of realized I was unhappy. So I knew I wanted to start my own company. So when I was at my brother's company, they needed a new website. They needed new branding. And
there you go.
I had never done that before. And so they ended up hiring a web design company. They spent $30,000 on a website that took 12 months.
Ugh.
And, I majored in communication, so I didn't know much, but I found myself at the table writing copy. I didn't know how to write copy. So the company never helped them develop a clear message, write copy. It was a pure design development brochure website. And so I knew that if I wanted to start a company, I needed to really solve a problem. And so I realized that when most small business owners need to get a website they love, they have one of 3 options. They go the do-it-yourself website builder route, like Squarespace. Good thing is that those solutions are cheap. The bad thing is the websites never look the way you want them to. You have the under construction sign for 3 years. Then small business owners go to try to work with a freelancer. Unfortunately, a lot of freelancers are flaky and they don't always build websites true to your brand.
Right.
And then like my brother's company went through, you go hire the big marketing agency. A lot of them are bloated, expensive, and they take forever. So I wanted to start a fast casual website and marketing company for the
Is that like Chipotle for websites?
Chipotle, that's
or
right.
H&M for websites.
Correct. Or I'd prefer J.Crew actually. But yeah. But no, I thought getting a website you love shouldn't cost more than a Volkswagen.
But what if they want guacamole?
That's extra. Yeah, that's extra salt.
Right.
But there's this idea of if you do go to Chipotle, you're walking in your jeans, the ingredients are high quality. It's an affordable price. Guarantee you don't get sick. But if you want Mexican food, you can also go to Taco Bell, pay 99 cents.
Yeah.
or you could go sit and pay $50 for a really high class Mexican dinner. So I kind of saw that analogy, probably because I eat too much Chipotle. And I said, where's that middle market option for small businesses that need marketing services?
So that you specifically cater to small and mid-sized businesses that need help with their messaging. And a lot of the time you really are you're not just executing, you're saying, okay, let's get to the root of what your story is, who you are.
Yeah, when I started One Week Website and called it that on the premise that content's the most important part of a website. Okay. Because of what I went through with my family's business. Because my brother and I were writing copy because the design and development shop were like, yeah, you got to give us your words for your website.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, you should have your copy and your content done before you get a website and build a website around that. So StoryBrand, which I'm sure a lot of listeners know about, came out at the time I started One Week Website. And I said, StoryBrand is educating the masses around this idea of how to clarify your message. So I should unite my brand with StoryBrand. And that would, get the message out faster. And so, yeah, we
And now StoryBrand is suing you. Tell us about that.
No, StoryBrand's really great. And I'm actually one of, their certified guides. But yeah, I mean, it's been great to kind of go help a CPA, go help, a guy that does audits for medical device companies, these industries that are frankly really underserved from a marketing perspective. Nobody wants to help them. And it's been really fulfilling to sit down and say, all right, this is what you do. The words you're saying to me are very complicated. They're technical. This is how to say it in a better way. This is a great website that you love that contains that message. And then let's get some marketing services.
Is there a central thesis that you tell all your clients? Like, I mean, how do you reach your audience? What's the trick today to get in front of your customer in a way that is meaningful and isn't total bullshit?
Well, I think it's really just putting yourself out there and just being really simple and clear on who you are and what you offer, number one. I mean, my first client, like when I started the business, came from WeWork. We all know WeWork, I'm sure.
But the number one shared office space in the world now.
Yeah. And so I signed up, I got a desk, and then my first client, Joe, came by and he asked the front desk clerk at WeWork, hey, we just started this business. We really need to get online quickly. Do you know anybody? And my name, or the company name, One Week Website, he said, oh yeah, this guy, One Week Website. That was, so point of that story is clarity.
So at what point did you, and what point did you come up with a name for One Week Website?
The name,
it's very clever.
It's not so much of a longer story. It was just,
Are you worried that when it becomes such a central brand, everyone will be like, oh, do you know about One Week Website?
You and I went to school together, and we had just come out of a very similar situation where we worked with an agency, a larger web design agency. I think we're all fairly happy with the work that we got, but it was kind of there was a handoff issue, I think, that we experienced. And we're a design firm, so we're constantly wanting to update, our content, and we're iterating on our brand and how we position ourselves.
Fonts.
Yeah, and it became kind of difficult. So we went to some freelancers and we had some initial good success, and then they got overwhelmed. So then either the quality or the responsiveness kind of fell off.
Didn't come out at the same time. There were some issues with that.
But it's just some translation issues as well. But no, when we called you up, I mean, we put One Week Website to the test last year. It was like
a spelling test. And you passed.
WEEK or WEAK?
But I'm curious to know, I mean, and we've had great success with you, and I know that even some of our clients have worked with you as well. Contrasting where you were, 4 or 5 years ago now in Sunnyvale to where you are now.
Yeah.
And this idea that leaving big corporate America and the money and the, cachet that comes along with that to have your own business. I mean, you're 2 years into One Week Website.
Yeah.
Is it what you thought it was going to be?
And for disclosure, Josh keeps going back to the money.
Why did you leave so much money?
Incredulity is.
He's very upset to our audience. It's actually surpassed expectations in a good way.
Explain.
Well, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what, my life would look like taking this risk. But, followed my intuition and had enough signals and signs to where you kind of get to the point where you're like, life's too short. And, there's this notion that, which I think is being banished or abashed, that, corporate America has more security than starting your own business. But I think, especially I think for marketers specifically, I've noticed this compared to even salespeople that, and with technology today and the ability to, start a business in a matter of seconds.
Well, but a lot of people aren't, people who, we work with, they're, or people that we might work with, they may not be thinking, I got to go start my own company.
Yeah.
But are there similar, kind of realities holding people back from doing what they want to do in their job? If you could say now, like looking back at the Danny from 5 years ago who's working for one of the biggest companies in the world, feeling frustrated, like if you could go back to that position now and say, man, I knowing what I know today, like I could have freaking killed it, or I could have, is there anything there that you would say to people like, all right, unleash, break the chains? Like we keep having these Game of Thrones references.
Yeah, no,
break rivers of chains.
It's very
I don't watch
marketing.
the show.
Have you seen it? So the question is for people that want to leave, or for people that are wondering about making.
No, it's like everybody's going to start their own company, but
here's what I would say. I would say that the Gary V's of the world and all the content that marketers see out there, it is very sexy to say quit your job and go start your own business, right? That in and of itself is a message that's being pumped out there.
Keeps on him every day,
right? For somebody selling a course or selling whatever, a podcast, right? So I think that's also very much bullshit. But
we don't cuss on this show.
Well,
yeah, that's fucked. But at the same time, matriculation from these big corporations is at an all-time high. I don't think millennials want to stay around unless they find meaning and purpose in their work, and they're apt to leave very quickly. So
maybe they want to have the side hustle and a full-time job.
Yeah, exactly. So you started your own thing. It's been rewarding. I guess one of the questions I have for you is, are you happy?
Yes. It's the happiest I've ever been in my life.
So why don't you ever smile?
It's a shirt.
It's the shirt. I just got shamed into buying new clothing. So
sorry, dude.
I wore a lot of the same shirts for people that would care to know that.
Check out his Instagram page. You'll see it's blue shirt, white dots, pattern repeated. What is it? Are you Doug? Like the corporate version of Doug?
Well, one of the things I realized in starting my business is that, life's busy, right? And so I did find myself kind of, not trying to do the whole Steve Jobs things where you wear the same black shirt every day. But, number one, my wife said that my old shirts were super outdated and I couldn't tuck them in and all this stuff. But
that didn't stop you from wearing them for 4 years straight.
Totally. No, I think for me, it was just having less choices to make.
Felt more secure. If I wore the same basic shirt.
No,
choice is tragic. If you have to decide, you take time out of your day for other things that you could be doing. If you just pull a shirt off the rack and it,
Yeah, it's pretty,
Has your shirt ever inhibited you from making a sale?
No. No, I'm a process guy. I eat at the same places. Obviously starting a company.
What kind of places?
So
Chipotle.
you like a lot of variety?
A ton of variety. Well, sometimes I get the taco and sometimes I get the bowl. So it's a little, if it's Friday night, I might go for the quesadilla. But I don't want to get.
You don't want to get ketosis?
This is a family show.
This is whack.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get back to marketing just a little bit for a second. I know his clothing is interesting. In your telling stories and helping companies tell their stories, what's the biggest challenge that you found?
I think the biggest challenge, especially for CEOs that are technical founders, is that most small business owners are too close to what they do every day. And so when they describe what they do to someone that may be their target audience, they give the client too many bowling balls. And what I mean by that is, if every piece of information I gave you, Adam, was a 15-pound bowling ball, after about, well, I don't know, you're pretty
look
buff.
at these arms.
Two bowling balls.
Yeah,
Like
so
maybe two
usually-
8-pound like kid size balls.
Well, usually I say 2, but I think for you it'd be 5.
From the old Toys R Us.
From the right.
Play.
But actually it'd be 100. So I could give you 100 pieces of information.
Okay.
But no, I mean, most people, I think, if you go to
Can't handle it.
a networking event, hey, what do you do? If you go on and on and on and on, people are going to check out. Your brain is going to literally go into daydream mode because it's trying to conserve calories. Our brains are scanning the environment, looking for words that help us thrive.
So all right. So they're simple. And, earlier today, you and I were talking about we're on our screens all the time. Our kids are on our screens all the time.
Yes.
Being on screens or screens in this office, it's exhausting.
Yes.
It's exhausting viscerally, ocularly. I mean, truly, we shouldn't be doing it as much. And now, because of that, consumer good companies, the companies that we feature on 12 for 12, like selling, bespoke wines or coffees or, pinball machines or arcades or, they're doing records. I mean, we have a whole wall of vinyl in the back.
Well, think about this. There's a company called Brandless.
Can't wait for that.
So
Next on Brandless.
This company I saw this and I'm like, oh my God. It's, there's something beautiful in a chair being a chair. The chair is the chair, right? And so my point is that Brandless came out and said everything's $3. So if you're buying soap, it's called soap. It's not called Tide.
Wait.
Blah, 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 blah,
So
blah.
Brandless their brand is so meta. They're so
Correct.
super meta.
Isn't that great?
Is it meta or is it not meta?
I mean, that's the thing. Their brand is
fairly
the
not. I don't think
unbrand.
It's the T-shirt. It's the question about the
I don't
shirt.
think that's
Like,
meta.
why did you?
Shirt, hat, beard,
That's
idiot,
exactly right.
brand.
It's the Marie Kondo.
Next on 12 for 12. Thanks. That's all the time we have for today.
But no, it goes back to what you said about there being a digital fatigue. Is that everybody's trying to strip down, either go analog or strip down the noise, strip down the unnecessary. 1 week website, you've got 4, or why do you have 4 shirts? Or why is Marie Kondo the #1 show on Netflix? Brandless. We don't want to think.
No.
The digital age has caused us to think too much. And because there's so much information and because our brains are literally wired to scan the environment and say, what's going to help me thrive? If our brains don't see words that help us thrive, we're checking out.
What is
So brandless means, and it sounds so silly. Like if you're buying soap, there's something very about reading a label that says soap.
Cart.
Turkey.
That's a single click reality. And that's the thing is, are we moving into that single click reality? Like where as a digital marketing guy, you're like, no, we just need one button that says buy.
I truly believe this.
So what does 12 for 12 mean to you?
Well, 12 for 12.
Don't speak as a client.
Yeah, I stuttered. Well,
And we're out.
I had a thought. But no, I mean, I think I even felt this way in sales. Is that I think sales is like talking to your mom, talking to your best friend.
Yeah.
When our loved ones in our life, we're all married. When we have our wives here, the best thing we can do to serve them is to love them the way that they need to be loved, but also serve up information to them in a way that they receive it.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, the best thing you can do in sales and in marketing is to honor your audience, to serve your audience by working really, really hard to make something simple and say it in a really clear way.
All right. So let's talk about Echelon for a second.
Let's do it.
Let's do the exercise. I may know an owner, operator, entrepreneur who's maybe too close to his business.
Ish.
Okay. All right. Echelon, 30 years.
Yeah.
What do we do? Simplify it. Break it down for me. Give me soap. Give me simple.
No,
we make 12 for 12, right?
No, I mean, just getting to know you guys. I mean, you obviously have the rich 30-year history, but, most businesses really need to get a an exhibit they loved, and
When Josh started his business,
And a marketing
at 4 years
plan
old,
a marketing plan that was their business.
Sounds like your story, Danny.
It kind of does. It kind of does.
Danny, where is 1 Week website going? I mean, you're 2 years in.
Yeah.
I don't think you're making Apple money yet, but like,
No.
what does the next 2 years look like to you? What does success look like?
Yeah. No, I just want to help.
Yeah, no, or
I think I really just want to focus on helping small businesses that just have never been helped.
what's it like being on a government assistance program?
It.
Ladies and gentlemen, raise your glass to Danny Peavey today on After 12. Thank you for joining
Cheers,
us, Dan.
man. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me,
Drink it
guys.
until you drink it. And thank you, all of you out there. We've been drinking Mott's Farm apple juice from Norcross, Georgia. Mott's Farm, the only apple juice that resembles hazy IPA. And from all of us at 12 for 12 and After 12, thank you for watching. We hope you hire echelon.